So for today's live session, we'll be talking about Ramadan and fasting. I think this is a topic for the majority of people, especially for Muslim communities. I'll be introducing myself. My name is Nisreen Nemer. I'm a lactation specialist, childbirth educator, and a certified trainer. So basically, as part of the really close to the holy month of Ramadan, and this topic is really interesting, especially for the and it's for the need of the Muslim communities as well. Now, for healthcare professionals, or let us say childbirth educators, doulas, lactation consultants, and peer counselors, it's a good thing that they can get this knowledge as well to share it in their communities, because sometimes they might be counseled and counseling actually Muslim ladies. So you can get some information from this live session and how to understand what is the thing she should really know as a mother, if she's able to fast as a breastfeeding mother or mother who's having a baby. But again, even if you're dealing with a Muslim lady and you're not from the same culture or community, you can please direct her to their special lactation or peak counselor from the same culture and religion, just in case of other details she needs to know. So basically, my topic will be talking about if the mother is able to fast during Ramadan or not. And in a medical perspective, I'm not going to talk about the Islamic way that if I'm able to fast or not. Everyone will have to use her own fiqh or scholar or which belief or whatever she's follower in her community, because each madhab in our Muslim have their own way of saying she can fast or not, and she has to make it back or not. So I'm not dealing with the Islamic part, I'm dealing with the medical part and how to decide if you're able to fast or not. So basically, you need to understand, for a breastfeeding mother, there are so many factors affecting the mother's decision to fast or not. One of these factors actually, in general, is going to be the climate of the Ramadan. In which climate does it fall? And we're so lucky that Ramadan has started to fall in the spring parts in other parts of the world. It's still a little bit hot in UAE, but in other parts it could be a spring. So the climate can really affect the mother's decision if she's able to fast or not. Especially when you go to the Arabic countries or some part of the Muslim countries where Ramadan used to fall in summer, it could really have an effect on her total, let us say, hydration status, or she's really sick, or sometimes she's really exhausted with breastfeeding and nursing. So the climate is an issue, and we're lucky that Ramadan started to be closer to the winter, or let us say the days that it is really less hours or cool temperature, we can say. One of the other factors actually we need to keep in mind is the total hours of fasting in any part of the countries that you're starting to fast in, because some parts of the countries you have total hours of 10 or above, and sometimes you have less hours in other countries. So also this factor really could affect the mother's decision if she's able to fast or not. One of the other main two factors I'd love really to concentrate in my session, on live session, and you can ask questions in between or by the end of the session, or you can even drop the questions privately to the account of Babies and Beyond, and I'll be answering them later. So the mother nutrition status and the baby's age is very important. And part of the baby's age, your milk production is another main factor. So 3 factors I will be concentrating today is your nutrition status and health status, the milk production status, or the ability to produce milk, the age of the baby. Let's start with the age of the baby. Now, it's very important to understand that the age of the baby is one of the main factors that will affect the mother's decision to fast. How? If you have a baby whose age is less than 6 months, and he's totally dependent on your breast milk, and we're only talking about breastfeeding mothers, not the top feed mothers or artificial fed mothers, or the mothers who are doing mixed feed, which she's doing the express milk or direct breastfeeding plus the artificial milk. So if she's going to have, let us say, a mixed feeding feed for the baby, which is bottle feeds or artificial milk, she doesn't have that stress because baby's getting other food, and plus that the baby is not demanding much from her in the daily time of fast. Okay, So it's very important if you're talking about a breastfeeding mother to decide the age of the baby. If the baby is less than 6 months and he's totally dependent on you, your milk production is a main factor if it's an issue, especially for the ones who just delivered few months back, like 3 months back or a few weeks back. Some of them, they forced themselves to fast Ramadan because they wanted not to get the chance to remake it again, because she's going to be busy with her life and her babies and everything. So if the baby is 3 months or and he still didn't establish good weight, or he still didn't get that weight gain in a sufficient for us as lactation specialists or pediatricians, okay, and if you didn't have a good milk supply at that time, mainly the factors for the milk supply production, it could be because of failure of breastfeeding, or sometimes you got some challenges, you had flat nipple, inverted nipple. Sometimes the baby's age at the time he was born, he had some challenges on this, where the baby was born less than 37 weeks, where the babies were titled as late preterm babies. So if your baby was born between 34 to 37 weeks, he's considered to be a late preterm baby. He will be little lazy to feed. Sometimes he can get a sharp drop in weight at the beginning and dehydration, and the mothers will struggle to maintain her milk supply if she didn't get an early support. So you need to get an early support for the cases if you have a late term babies, where the baby were born less than 37. Now, another factor, if your baby is a premature baby, which is another discussion, because most of the premature babies, mothers are pumping and babies could be admitted. Or sometimes if you're safe discharging the baby, again, it's another struggle for the premature baby. Mother is trying to maintain the milk supply as much as she can to cover the baby's needs. So it's very important to know if your baby's age, let us say safe, and at the same time he's really able to not to suffer with you with fasting. So if the baby's age is less than 6 months and he's totally depending on you, you didn't really have a good milk supply, you didn't get, let us say, an early support from, let us say, the community support like Babies and Beyond, midwives and doulas and childbirth educators, or you didn't get any support from any of like lactation consultants or peer counselors, it's going to be difficult for you. You have to have a close contact with these some community support people, and they will tell you physically or healthy wise that you're able to fast or not. So now, in case if you have an issue with the baby's weight again and urine output and stool output for the first 3 months, it's really difficult to decide, but please get in contact with the lactation consultant. I think there's a question here before I scroll to the I'll try to scroll back, I hope. Okay, and then I will go back to the other factors. I'm about to deliver and would like to breastfeed. I want my husband to help feed my baby. Can I start pumping from the beginning? Okay, now this is not related to fasting, but basically if you're going to Rumaz, if you're going to have your baby born at in a hospital, which is a baby-friendly hospital, they will let you do the early breastfeeding as possible. Now, since we have an issue, which is another factor, which is your corona factor, and lots of things and safety is there, please follow the protocols of the hospitals according to their settings and policies. And after discharge safely to home, you can contact Babies and Beyond, and they have all the support and midwives and lactation consultants and licensed nurses to help you in case if you need any information or support. So you can also follow the Babies and Beyond to give you more support in between. So getting back to that main factor is your baby's age. So if the baby's age, as I said again, less than 6 months, you need to discuss this case with your lactation consultant and specialist, and discuss your let us say status in regards to the baby's age. So again, if the baby's age is less than 6 months, it's really going to be a little bit critical for you to decide. Now, if the baby's age is above 6 months, it's sometimes easier for the mother because baby started to have food and supplemented with other types of homemade food. We prefer that you are learning how to do your homemade food, not to buy Cerelac or whatever ready-made food from outside. It's better that you have your clean and ready-made food from home, that you prepare them yourself. And again, we have lots of workshops with the Babies and Beyond. You can also join the workshops for the preparing the baby for feeding and weaning and all this stuff. So if the baby's age is above 6 months and you're able to really fast, it's not an issue for you. But again, there's a little minimum factor on this, is if you just started food with the baby, because mothers sometimes they say, okay, my baby's really 6 months now, and I need to start food and fasting at the same time. So what happens actually, that the mother will force herself to fast, and the baby is still depending on her breast milk with 1 or 2 meals in the day. So she will be exhausted feeding the baby, and she will be also taking lots of time feeding the baby, and she will feel a little stressed, or sometimes her milk production will be affected because she was forcing herself to fast. On the other hand, the baby is going to really demand her a lot. So if you just started food and you started only like 2 to 3 meals, and baby still didn't get established that, let us say, the routine of having other foods plus your breast milk, please wait for a while. Or you have to do the skipping fasting days, and I will get back to this alternative idea. Okay, so you might consider yourself trying fasting if the baby is 6 months, but above 6 months, again, the baby will be helping you. He's eating food, he's having variety of foods, your breastfeeding duration and let us say frequency is less compared to the babies who are less 6 months. One of the ideas I would love to talk about also is having the expressing milk before joining Ramadan's month. So you can express your milk now and store it and use it in the daily time when you're fasting. So if you express your milk now and store it, you can still use it in the daily times, and you can also pump your milk also at the time you're breaking your fast or your iftar evening times. So pumping before Ramadan, pumping during the iftar time is very important to maintain your milk supply and to use this milk in the daytime where you're fasting. You could be really resting in between or doing food or even studying for other siblings. So it's very important that you express some milk. Your husband can help you, your elder siblings if you have elder kids, or sometimes you have your housemaid or anyone who's really supporting you at home. They can give the express milk to the baby. You can use a cup or a bottle according to the age and according to the needs. So expressing milk before Ramadan and even during Ramadan will help you to do the fasting without feeling that you're really demanding, the baby demands a lot from you and you're really exhausted. Okay, I think there's another question. I have 2-month-old baby and I am exclusively pumping, and I fast this Ramadan, or I will supply. Okay, as I said before, your baby is less than 6 months, and if you're totally pumping mother, that's number one, you're totally pumping mother, you're not doing direct breastfeeding, your milk supply is satisfied, and let us say you don't have that low milk supply and you didn't have issues, the baby's weight is fine, you can really go ahead with fasting if your milk supply is good. But again, it could really affect you in case if you're, as I said, you didn't have that good milk supply or you didn't establish very well. So please get contact closely to the Babies and Beyond privately, and they will ask the midwife's lactation consultant to contact you and help you more. You can also ask for my contact so I can discuss with you later. Because we need to decide what is the baby's weight, current weight, and we need to decide the birth weight, and also we need to decide the total pumping amount you get. Okay, so once more, the baby's age is very important factor. Less than 6 months, you need to get a close contact with the lactation specialist, peer counselors. You can also contact the Babies Beyond. They have the certified midwives, lactation consultants as well. And also you can also get a contact from any of the community support if you wish, and you get their support. Another factor which I said is going to be pumping and storing. Another issue, if you want to know more about pumping and storing, please join our workshops. We'll be talking a lot about pumping and storing and preparing and handling your express milk. So you can join our workshops from the Babies and Beyond, so you can get more details about this. The mothers who are really planning to fast and they're working mothers, again, there's another factor that the working hours, even if you're working at home, you're still under stress. So, and your kids are studying at home, it's another stress. So please make sure that you relax yourself, not to be exhausted. Prioritize your tasks. Not everything should be done in the morning. You can cut off some of the tasks. Give some time for you to rest. Also, you need to make sure that you, as a working mother or not working mother, you shouldn't exhaust yourself, because your oxytocin level will be less. The oxytocin level will affect your milk production, and then you might feel like your baby is not getting enough milk. I think another question from Ala, what about the quality of milk during fasting? Thank you for this question. I'll get back to this now. Thank you, Ala. Okay. So, working mother or non-working mother, please get rest and get the maximum plenty of rest during the day of fasting. For the, let's say about the quality, the question about Allah, the quality of the milk. Now, the quality of the milk will not really affect, wouldn't be affected during fasting, because you're taking your full meal after the iftar or the breakfast time, which is evening time. So all the types of food that you're taking is going to build back your quality of milk. So don't worry about the quality of milk. We're worried about the quantity itself, because if you exhaust your body and you're not really hydrating yourself after iftar, you're not eating very well, and you're doing lots of work at the, during the day, it's going to be really affected. Now, another two factors you need to understand here. Even if you plan to fast, before I scroll to other questions, if you plan to fast, you need to observe your healthy status and your dehydration or hydration status, the baby's status as well, and hydration status. So from yourself, if you're planning to fast and you're strong enough to fast, actually you don't have any issues with the completing your day fasting. But one thing you need to observe is your urine output, color of the urine, your behavior. If you're tensed, if you're under stress, you got severe headache, you got too much thirsty, you started feeling giddy and weak, please break your fast, because this is your health and you have to make it back. So there's no way that you're really extending the time of our fasting and then you're going to be fainting or getting a fainting attack, and you don't get the chance to care of your babies. So please, if you get dehydrated, thirst, headache, fainting, giddiness, weakness, sometimes you're angry and tensed, please break up your fast. It's your health to take care of. Now, another thing, observing the baby if you're fasting. If the baby had to change his behavior on the breastfeeding, he demands a lot, he cries a lot, he's not really satisfied during and after the feed. His urine output is very important. The number of nappies or wet diapers will be less. The color of the urine will be dark. The number of stooling will be less. Baby started to feel really anxious during the day, and this is a sign that he's not getting enough milk, and your milk is affected in the quantity ways, not in the quality. So please break your fast, give yourself rest and hydrate yourself and eat well, and get the baby to breastfeed. Another thing, as we mentioned, your healthy status during Ramadan, you need to make sure that you eat very well after breaking your fast in the evening. Lots of healthy food like proteins, carbohydrates, or vegetables. You can start your food also with the simple, let's say, salad or soup, and then you can take a small main course, and then after Salat al-Tarawih or after Tarawih prayers, you can have the second meal. This is a good thing for you, so you don't feel you're dumping lots of food during iftar time, and you don't going to be feeling so tired or sleepy or too much, weak, because you're dumping lots of food at the iftar time. So you break your fast at the maghrib time or the breakfast time, the evening time, and you have a small portion of your main course, and then do the second portion after al-Isha prayer or at-Tarawih prayer, because that will give you more stronger feelings, and you're still active, not really lazy to sleep. Okay? Don't forget to drink about 12 glasses of water, but you don't drink all these 12 glasses of water soon after iftar. You have to calculate all these 12 glasses from the time you break the fast, which is iftar time, to the suhoor time. So drink lots of water, and any other types of healthy fluid. Juices as well is very good. Try to reduce your caffeine intake and coffee and tea, because this is a diuretic factor. It will make you lose lots of urine and fluid from your body, and then you will be thirsty next day. Try to avoid or reduce the sweet, because in most of the cultures, especially the Arab cultures or the Asian cultures, they tend to have lots of sweets during Ramadan. So many sweets comes during the iftar time. So please make sure to get small portions, not too much, because again, too much sweet will cause you thirst and you might gain weight and you will be so much tired after this. Now, during the suhoor time, it's very important to get the time you make the suhoor very late, because some people tend to do the suhoor by 12, and she like 12 midnight or 1 o'clock, and then she wakes up for the suhoor, drinks water, and she sleeps again, or whatever she does in her daily routine. We prefer you make the suhoor late as possible. You can have some juice, or herbal tea can help you to maintain your milk supply, like a fenugreek, moringa, any types of culture herbal safe tea that you can use, rather than the normal tea that to boost your milk supply is good. You can drink this, then start your suhoor and eat a healthy suhoor containing proteins, vegetables and fruits. It's very important. A good habit, you can end the suhoor actually with yogurt and dates. The minerals and potassiums are lots in the dates itself. It can maintain your hydration status during the day of fasting. You can also end your suhoor with a banana, a small portion, half portion of the banana, according to the banana size, because some they have small bananas and some they have big bananas. So you can have the banana, because again, banana will have you lots of minerals and potassium to help you to maintain your hydration status. For fasting, I used to end my suhoor with date and yogurt, or banana. Even my husband used to do it. And the days we missed that, we were feeling so much thirsty that day. And the days we maintain it, we were so strong and we didn't feel that much really thirsty. You might feel exhausted by 2 hours before iftar. That's normal because you're fasting all the day. But thirsty, we used to feel less thirsty if we did the date and yogurt or banana by the end of the suhoor. So this is basically the decision of if I'm going to fast or not. If the baby is aged less than 6 months, get a close contact and a consultation from the lactation consultants and the lactation specialists, peer counselors, the midwives and lactation nurses registered with Babies and Beyonds. They're licensed. DHA nurses, and they can guide you and they can give you the good advice. You can also drop the contact questions to your Babies and Beyond account. Another thing, as we said, how to maintain your healthy status, your let us say hydration status. Your food intake is very important. Don't forget to observe your hydration status, your baby's hydration status. Anytime you felt that the baby's not getting enough milk, please stop and break the fast. Last idea, some people started deciding on this, is you can do the fasting alternative days. Like, let us say you fast 1 day, rest 1 day, and again you fast again, or you fast 1 day, rest 2 days, and then you fast again. This is the way that you can maintain your hydration status, your stress level will be less, and your milk supply will be again boosted again. So you can do the alternating fasting if you wish, skip some days, try for some days and skip some days. This will help you actually to at least fast half Ramadan or a few weeks of Ramadan rather than breaking the full fast in Ramadan. So this is my full, let us say, discussion about fasting in Ramadan. If any other questions, I would be scrolling again to the chat box. I just wanted to introduce myself again and the team, because I started the first session and then cut off to correct my camera. Again, this is Babies and Beyond. This is Nisreen Nemer, lactation specialist, childbirth educator, and certified trainer. So Babies and Beyond are hosting lots of workshops and activities and lots of even counseling sessions and even live sessions and online sessions for any questions. If you want to join, please drop an appointment or a question to the Babies and Beyond. They could really help you a lot with their licensed nurses, midwives, and lactation consultants. Let me see if I get any questions. Thank you, Ala. Okay. As I asked UAE, Mimi, Mia, Dubai, as I told you before, get close contact with us to decide your age of the baby, because she's asking, she has a baby of 2 months. I'll repeat this question again. Baby's 2 month age and she's totally pumping. And She wants to know if she's able to fast. So please get back to us, as we said, to decide the amount of your milk you pump. The age of the baby again will be calculated, and the history of the baby. As we said, if the baby was born less than 39 weeks or less than 37 weeks, it makes also differences because you're in 2-month age postpartum. So get in touch with us so we can get you a detailed support and consultation. Okay, getting back to Rumay's detailed question, she said that she's up to deliver and she wants to pump her milk and she wants her husband to give that milk. Okay, since we have some time to talk about this, what we have to decide is, inshallah, you will be having a safe delivery at the hospital. Again, if it's a baby-friendly hospital, they will help you to do the early skin-to-skin or early breastfeeding guidelines and protocols. But again, with some precautions started because of the coronavirus pandemic and all these issues. So please follow the policies and protocols of the hospital itself. The other part of the question, usually for the baby-friendly hospitals policies, and that's the practice, you will be enhanced to do early hand expression soon after delivery within the first 2 hours, and you have to maintain that if the baby cannot feed directly for any medical reason or any situation that you had a challenge. Otherwise, you will be having the chance to have direct breastfeeding with your baby. So after 48 hours, you will be able to use the pump. Now, if you're not a working mother, you don't have to buy a pump. But if you're working a mother, you should be planning to buy a pump from now before you get stuck after delivery. For a mother who's not working, she can do her hand expression. She can empty her milk and use it later if she wish. And she can get the support from the Babies and Beyond lactation specialist or midwives to help them and teach them or to guide them if they have any difficulties with latching. But for working mothers, again, you need to get your pump. Start using it. So 48 hours after baby's born, you can start using the pump. Now, how many times to use the pump? Again, it's according to your demand of the baby's needs and how to use it. Now, if you want the details of how to store and handle the express milk, you can join the workshops which are going to be held with the Babies and Beyond, and we can give you details explanation of how to manage your express milk and how to use your own milk during after safe delivery and baby's born, inshallah. I think I answered majority of the questions. Okay. There's another question by Sarah. Salam. I started feeding my baby purees at 4 months. He's 5 months and he's... Okay, if you're exclusively breastfeeding, Sarah, if you're exclusively breastfeeding, you're not giving any artificial milk, you have to make sure that you don't stop breastfeeding. Breastfeeding will give you the immunity and will give you the all the benefits that the baby can fight any infections and virals, even in case if you have a medical issue with the baby. Now again, please make sure that you even while starting food, regardless of the age, we prefer exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. Now since you started already, please make sure that you prepare the food in a clean way. Wash hands before touching the food, wash and also clean the area you're preparing the food and the items, because we don't want any chance of viral infections or gastrointestinal infections now, because we don't want the baby to be suffering from admission with the corona effects. So please make sure that you prepare your food safely, wash hands nicely and thoroughly with soap and water, prepare the food and make it clean, and watch the temperature and expiry times expected for any food type, and give the baby food. But please don't stop breastfeeding, okay? Breastfeeding will give you the immunity and will fight against infection and any viral or bacterial infection. Okay, I think I answered you very well, Sarah. If you need more support, you can contact Babies and Beyond again, and you can get the help from the licensed nurses, midwives, and lactation consultants. You are welcome, Sarah. Hope my answer really satisfied you. I think we still have 20 minutes. Can we discuss something else? Or we can wait for another question? Again, this is from Babies and Beyond. Nisreen Nemer, lactation specialist, childbirth educator, and a certified trainer. We were talking about Ramadan and breastfeeding, and we are interested to join other ladies if they wish to have other questions. Thanks for the ladies who joined. Hope you get a benefit session and information about Ramadan and fasting. Okay, let me discuss some of the things about, let's say, the corona, what's going on around us, since we have another 20 minutes. Now, again, I want to advise the mothers, support and help from the community awareness, what's going on. Lots of people are observing a healthy topics, which is very good now. We don't see lots of advertisement of funny things now and jokes, even if they do some jokes about corona. But the only thing is everyone started to be aware of where to find the good resource and the supported resource and the evidence-based, topics about their healthy lifestyle or healthy take food or whatever. So basically, if you're going to have your baby in a baby-friendly hospital, the protocols will support you to have an early contact with the baby. But again, each hospital will follow their rules according to the, let us say, the system or according to the setup of the hospitals. Because some hospitals, they had to do some of the parts of the hospital as an isolation for the infected cases. So whatever plans you wish to do with the a baby-friendly hospital, it's a very supportive environment, but again, follow the precautions and questions and advices that they will give you. You might be expected to wear your gloves and mask during the admission